Go.
Hey guys, welcome back. This video we've actually tried to do at least 3 times, maybe 4. So our technology's updated now. Got a new camera, new phone, so hopefully this will work. Big shout out to a few people. Bobby, Big Bobby. Man, this thing is a work of art, and I'm a surgeon with it. It was built for you, you bought it, but it was also made for me, man, and I love it. I haven't christened it yet, but you've seen me with it. First time I picked it up and took it out of your hands, you might have noticed I'm a surgeon with it. We're going to talk a lot more about these later, because I'm going to start making them. I like it, thank you. Hey, say hi to the family, man. Say hi to your Bubba, say hi to your wife, say hi to all of them down there. You know, your mom and them. Miss you guys, I'll see you soon. No worries. I'm gonna put this over here. And oh, B Ryan. Hey brother. We're gonna talk about the harvest moon, but we're gonna talk about a few things first. Do's and don'ts in the garden, on the farm, on the ranch. But yeah, we're getting real close to harvest moon, so you ask, you shall receive. Yeah? Alright. But this one right here is for my brothers and sisters at Valhalla Project. Look at this. Tell me this isn't the coolest shirt you've ever seen. I mean, that is a motto to live by. These guys at Valhalla Project, they support the 22 Till None program. They reach out to veterans all the time. They have really cool products. They have the best shirts on the market, in my opinion. I mean, some of the best. And I really like what they do. They give plaques. They custom fabricate plaques and give them to the families of the fallen. And man, I mean, I just think that's really cool. I love what y'all do. I support you. I've actually sent y'all a lot of money, and I got a lot of t-shirts, man. You'd be amazed what I'm willing to do for a t-shirt. All right, back to basics. Here we go. Sutures. Combat medicine. It's not pretty, but it works. This is why. Let me snuggle in here. Alright. So, when we're talking about a surgeon square binder, when it's tied, this is what it should look like, okay? So this is the knot that you're using for every single stitch. I'm going to show you guys how to do it. It is not very difficult. But let's get back to the basics, okay? Let's learn it again. So, you know, remember when I said this is a progression? It really is. So, this is a new one. It's a surgeon knot, okay? It's just like a square knot. Right over left, but instead of just pulling it through once, you do it twice, okay? And the cool thing about that knot is when you pull it tight, it locks. So that way, the one that you put on top of it also locks. You see that? And that's your stitch. I mean, that's how you tie it. Alright, I'm going to show you an easy way to do it with your tools. I might show you some other things. Are you ready? I hope so, because I am. We go now. Hope this works. Alright, so what we have here is this is Johnny Rockstar Hollywood. Got shipped out to a combat zone. He's sustained some injuries, as you can see. Before we get into that, let's talk about our different kinds of sutures, our different kinds of materials, and our tools. You know, tools and their uses. Alright, this is nylon. This is probably the most difficult one to use, okay? All of you fishermen know the monofilament line, when you pull it tight, it can be sharp. It can cut right through you. So it's a little bit dangerous, okay? This is the best thing to use. The polypropylene monofilament. Now it's braided, so it's also sharp, and it can cut you. So you don't want to cinch it too tight, but since it's braided and not monofilament, I mean, it says monofilament right there, but it's actually braided. This actually advertises braided. This is definitely braided. This is your most delicate, and this locks really well on itself. But the polypropylene, actually scratch that. It's not braided. It's a monofilament. But the way that it's woven, it's less aggressive than the monofilament and it locks on itself. But it is a solid diameter line, not braided. Okay? Just so we're clear. The silk is braided. The polyester is braided. These are both delicate. Okay? So you want to use these on, if you have to do a stitch on a joint or something that moves a lot, you know, the back of a knee or anything that moves a lot, you want to use this material as opposed to this material. Now, if you've got a solid muscle group, this is the way to go. Practice these, guys. Practice these. Seriously, like I've said it before, I'm going to say it again. Perfect practice makes perfect. These are not videos that you can watch like Bear Grylls running around in the woods doing crazy stuff. Whether he was SAS or not, he actually was, but he was a reservist. Who cares? Don't take that away from him, okay? He's entertaining. But be aware that you've got to practice these things, okay? Watching this video is not good enough. I mean, you've got to experience it, okay? Last but not least. Now this one is the chromic catgut. I was just joking, ladies. It's not actually cat gut, but it is guts. It's made from sheep and goat guts. They actually slice the intestines in thin strips, and then they, guess what? Braid it. So it is braided, so it locks really well on itself, you know. It's got that it's inconsistent, you know, it's braided line. So when you pull that surgeon's knot, it really locks well on itself. But for training purposes, we're using this. Because if you can do it with this, if you can do it with the polypropylene, then you can do it with this. These are the most difficult materials to work with, okay? So this is what you need to train with. All right. This is this guy that I know, and he's been through some hard times. As you can see. Now this stitch right here, this is a horizontal mattress stitch, horizontal bed stitch, something like that. We're not going to talk about that today because I've spent so much time trying to get this video up. We're going to talk about excuse me, we're going to talk about a single stitch. This is another way to do it, but we're going to talk about that in another video. Let's keep it simple for now. Alright, so what we have is our polypropylene line. It's nice and blue so you can see it. Before we get into the actual procedure, let's talk about tools. Tools and their uses. You guys know, you've heard me say that. When you get a suture kit, you get a few things with it. Little pair of scissors, little straight cut scissors. Any scissors are good scissors, but they need to be small scissors. You see? Not the big nasty surgical scissors that you cut people's pants off with. You can cut quarters in half with those things. You don't need those for sutures. You need these. See? I call all these hemostats, but they're not. The difference between a hemostat and a needle driver is not only the angle of the, I don't know what you call that, I guess the bite, the teeth, okay? Look at this. Hemostats have a curvature to them. A needle driver doesn't. And the hemostats have really aggressive teeth. I mean, you can feel them. It feels like a file, okay? The needle driver does not have as aggressive teeth, but it does have teeth. They're really fine. They're really fine. Now, both of these, when you squeeze them, they lock into place. All right, now you got this little buddy. All right. That's a very handy tool. It's got a little tooth and then two other teeth on the other side that receive it. I don't know if you can see that very well. Do you see that very well? Here, I'll bring it closer.
Yeah.
See that?
Back up. There.
Alright. Yeah. Tweezers are fine if you get a kit and it doesn't come with one of these, but these are better. And I'll show you why. Alright, so let's get right to it. Now, I like to hold mine, as I said, different, you know. But if you're just beginning, hold it like this. Lock it in. 90-degree angle, you see that? These are designed to hold with your thumb and your ring finger, all right? I don't do it like that. I kind of like to hold it like this so I have more range of motion and freedom with it, okay? But I recommend when you're getting started holding it like this, so I'm gonna hold it like this, okay? But that's not typically how I do it. All right, so this little Johnny, man, he's got a, or no, I'm sorry, this is Kenny. Hey, Kenny. Thank you. How about them Yardbirds, man? I'm gonna keep talking about it till I hear from you. Hey, Big John, got something for you too, man. Stay tuned in 30 minutes. All right, so first course of action is stitching through the epidermis, through the skin, not into the muscle, with one stitch. Now, you naturally want to go through both like this. Yeah, let's get it done. Let's hurry up. Don't do it like that, okay? Stitch it through one at a time, okay? Now, after you get this needle, through and out of the wound, do you see that? Pull it through. Give yourself enough room on the back side so that you can tie a knot, okay? You've got to pull it all the way through. These techniques that I'm teaching you, okay, and you also don't want to use your fingers, you know, you want to use this little guy, but just for ease of operation, I'm showing you with fingers. When we tie the knot, I'll show you how to use these. That's when it becomes really important. So let's go through the perpendicular layer. Yeah, I really don't like holding them like that. Okay, well I did for one stitch. Now I'm doing it the way I did. Okay, see how that needle got close to the edge and it started slipping? Bite it about halfway. Okay? About halfway in your, that way it doesn't slip. So I've got my first stitch, I'm doing my second stitch. Now notice that I'm leaving myself a lot of distance. Now on skin, actual, you don't need that much distance. What I'm talking about in distance is the distance between the entrance of the stitch and the exit of the stitch. This is just for training purposes. You really want that to be closer to the wound, but this is an orange, okay? And it doesn't have as much elasticity and tensile strength as your actual skin does. This is just for training purposes. You guys can get that kit off of Amazon. I think it's a silicone compound with a gelatin additive that makes it really consistent like skin. So that way you can learn. All right, now we have to tie a knot, okay? Now you don't want to sit there and diddle around and be tying a knot, you know? So just use your tools, okay? Now, I'm gonna show you like this. So this is right over left. This is left over right, okay? See that? All right, that's what you need to know. Okay, so let's start our surgeon knot right over left. Now I like to kind of open these things up and captivate those bites right over left. So I've got them all situated. Just pinch that little buddy, all right? Pull it through. And if you have any issues with pulling that through, it's okay, just shake it, move it, change the angle. Now watch this. You don't want to crank it down, man. You know, that polypropylene will cut right through the skin. So pull it tight, let go. See that? You see how it's locked? See how it kind of stayed in place? Now this orange was cut day before yesterday, so it's kind of dried out. And I thought that would be kind of good for training, you know, so I left it. But you see how that knot locked in place? That's why it's called a surgeon's knot, okay? But now, it's not gonna stay in place like that, so you gotta follow it up with a square knot. So what did we do first? We did right over left, so now we need to do left over right. Just one turn this time. through. See that? Easy peasy lemon squeezy, but we're not done yet. Now I always want to work with my working end, remember? Bitter end, working end, dead end. See? I told you it was a progression. So, I want to go, that one was left over right, so this is right over left. Pinch it, pull it through. Now that is the most standard, easy suture to do, okay? I didn't even have to use that thing, but in real life, you might have to. So, let's talk about this in real life, okay? Watch this real quick, okay. So, you're gonna have some other problems in combat medicine. What you need to know is your veins and your arteries, they do different things, okay? Your arteries take blood away from your heart. Your veins bring it back, all right? So if you've got a cut anywhere, quiet down. All right.
Shaking the hand.
All right, I'm gonna let the dogs out real quick. You guys know, you've seen my videos. These dogs, their problems. Let's go. Get off. Get out. Go play. Go play. Go play. Go. You get out. All of you get out. ZZ. Zucchini, get. Jeez. Now I got dogs running around terrorizing the neighborhood. That's not as comforting, but they're not my problem though. So, what were we talking about? Oh, veins, arteries, yeah. Arteries are taking blood away from the heart. Veins are bringing it back, okay? There's an exchange of gas. I'm not going to get that deep into it. Let's just talk about this. All right, so we're talking about our buddy, little Johnny, yeah? Well, see, he got cut in his leg. And man, it's, one thing that Hollywood got right is if you cut a vein or an artery, you actually do get some squirtage, yeah? And if I'm cut here and the blood's squirting this way, what is it, a vein or an artery? I'm not going to answer it. You need to answer it. It's important. Now that needs to be stopped, okay? So, for example, if we're talking combat medicine, okay, guys? It's not pretty. We got to make sure the guy can get to the hospital, yeah? We can got to make sure doc's got to look at him. Now look, when we roll out, we will always have a doc, but typically doc's busy, and he doesn't want to deal with any non-life-threatening issues. Let's just keep it simple. Devil doc, how are you doing, Jason? Miss you, man. We got to go ride sometime, but who the hell wants to go to California? I might. Anyways, all right, so this is a vein or an artery, doesn't matter. We'll talk about that in a second. So this is little Johnny's vein, all right? And it's running all the way up to his heart, into his lungs, into his lower extremities, okay? It's my needle driver, all right? Now, it got cut. He got cut, he got shot, he got whatever, okay? See that? Boom. Now, what's going to happen is that blood pumping, say it's a vein. Say it's bringing blood back, okay? The other side of it, it's going to leak a little blood, but this one's going to be the one that's a problem. Now, while it's pumping, it's going to want to recede. It's going to want to retract. Say that's in my leg. Say it's in your arm. It doesn't matter. The same thing's going to happen. When that blood is pumping, it's going to want to retract back into the muscle. That's a problem. That's where these come in handy. So say that it's a vein, and see, focus. Come in here. I know this is dirty, nitty-gritty stuff, but this little guy right here, it's pumping blood, and it's not going to stop until I do this. Lock it in with my hemostat. Now, I can leave it, because doc's going to want to know, or if it's a really bad wound, I can bury it and stitch it, as long as it's sterile. Now, that's that's risky business. That's a bad practice, but you can do it. Okay, so I would just run more of those stitches right there. Leave them, calm them, give them one of those ketamine pops, maybe give them an atropine 2-pound chloride injection of Valium. You know, there's a lot of things you can do for these guys. This is challenging medicine, okay, because you don't have a nice, calm patient that's just checked into the hospital, has been sipping coffee and waiting in the waiting room. I mean, this is not easy. So you, as a provider, if you ever have to deal with anybody that's, you know, sustained an injury like this, you have one job: chill out, be calm. Thanks, guys. That is all. I'm glad we got through this, man. Love you, made it. Stay tuned. Stay solid.